She's Jessie.
Jake Gilbert.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Jessie, well, you make everybody really uncomfortable.
It's like a date.
Congratulations on this. It does. I don't know, it just makes me, I can yell, sorry. You did a really amazing job of you started a conversation that needs to be had, and I mean, what did you have a real goal? You know what I mean? Like, I know we all have goals when we make films, but like, to me, this is just like you put it in a room and people start talking, because either they're offended or they think it's funny, and then people are like, that's not funny, don't laugh at it, but it's fucking funny too. So, like, you did a really good job.
Thanks. Well, I guess like the inspiration for making this film was just my own personal catharsis. Like, so basically, I was raped 8 years ago, and I like went to therapy, like was a good Jewish girl, like talked about it, told my parents, like did all the right things that you're supposed to do to get over something like this. And last summer, I was like in this bar, like dancing in this douchey club, and this dude slapped me on the ass, and I just like flipped, I just snapped, and it just all came back to me, and it was this realization that like I'm totally not over this thing, and I was just pissed off. Like I was just like, I'm just like over my rape, I'm over, like I just want to be over it. So I started fantasizing about like how I could get closure on the situation, because I knew the dude for like 38 minutes of my life. So how, like, what would happen if I got to see him again? Like, I want to show him, like, the impact that he's had on my life. So it all kind of started from that. I think, like, all of us making films, just that desperate need. Like, I didn't want to make the film, but, like, I felt like I had to.
If somebody doesn't have a question. Yeah.
Just say it?
Yeah, go
Okay.
for it. Yell it out.
I just want to say that I thought it was brilliant. I love it when people take really edgy topics and like disarm the audience with humor. I thought you did a brilliant job. I fucking loved it. I laughed. You got some comfortable laughing, but I think that was the whole point of that film. But I did have one question. When you were writing this, did you write it by yourself, or did you like have like friends that you're bouncing off the ideas, and when you're telling your friends like I'm gonna do a film about me dating my rapist, what was your like response to that?
Yeah. Pretty much like everyone in the world but Jake was like, don't make it. Please, God, don't make this movie. Yeah, I have like a group of friends that we all read each other's shit, and definitely got a lot of feedback from the beginning. I think I didn't really like sit down to make a comedy or drama. Like I just wanted to kind of think about my experience, and I think there's comedy and drama and vice versa. And so we kind of wanted to we weren't trying for a certain genre. We were trying to just, I don't know, get towards truth and honesty. But I mean, a lot of what wasn't in the script was like when Jake came on board. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about what you did.
I just shot it. I didn't do anything else. No. Actually, it was just one of those things where I had actually never met Jessie before. No, we met once, I think, at a party. I slapped her ass. No.
That's the sequel.
No, we had met, like, briefly at a friend's party, and then we were in the same group of mutual friends, and this group of mutual friends, we're all in production, we're all PAs, we all, work on movies and stuff, but nobody's really dropped the habit and started to make anything except for this person out here, Jessie. This Jessie Kahnweiler. Oh, she's doing this, she's got a chutzpah thing, or do you want to go shoot this thing called, what was it, not Baby Love, Questions? How's it? Stupid Questions. And so I kept hearing this name, and finally, our mutual friend Ryan Layson, who's also one of the producers on this movie, he's like, we need a cinematographer. We need someone to shoot this. And as soon as I read it, I was like, okay, I'm with you on this. It's edgy. It's saying something. But then it was as soon as I met Jessie, I'm like, absolutely, I'm doing this. Like it's genuine. It's sincere. the fact that it has humor is really more or less, it wasn't about it being funny. It was the fact that I read the sincerity behind it, and I was like, so many people are creating so many other things that they're so safe, and they're so like in this guarded arena, and I just want to shoot things that have something to say, let alone your individual voice. Having a voice is one thing. Having something to say with that voice is completely different. And it was as soon as I read it, you know, I had to do this. And when we started getting into production, which was all of, you know, 4 partial days. I mean, we shot with, you know, seeing those names. I was like, wait, what did that guy do? I don't remember that. But it was like I had to stretch it out because like there was so much stuff that we didn't get. And as we were going along, I felt compelled to tell Jessie, I'm like, the way
that performance sucked ass.
No, I was just being honest. I had to be. She was on camera, but she was directing, and you can hear in the background, you know, we have this like sliding shot for some reason, and then she comes in and she says this line, and then I'm like, and she's like, what? And you can hear on camera, behind camera, and this is, you know, I've not met her really, I don't know her that well. I'm like, I didn't believe it. like it was like, who am I to say that as a cinematographer? But then as I started to get kind of used to Jessie, I'm sorry I'm going on here, but with everything that she does, it sort of felt like with her, again I say edge, with her in particular voice, everyone around her was like, yeah, Jessie, because they had no voice of their own, and it was kind of sad. And I felt like this has something to say, so I wanted to stand up for it. I wanted to defend it. I wanted to fight for it. And I wanted to fight for the integrity, because when we walk away from this, all we're left with is whatever we see on screen. So if it's a poor performance, if it's, you know, if it's not really getting the point across, I feel like, you know, I failed. And I couldn't let her walk away without it, you know, coming across as genuine. So, you know, sort of being that de facto person behind the camera who has to tell her what it is. I mean, I felt like obligated. I felt this responsibility that, you know, I don't think was imparted to me. I think it was just naturally set there. And again, it was just one of those things that after working with Jessie, it was like I had no control over it. Like I had no say in the matter. It just kind of came out of me. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jessie, was there ever a moment when you wanted to do this as your catharsis, but then was there ever like, oh, I don't need to share it. I don't need to, like, were you ever afraid to show it?
Oh, yeah. I'm afraid right now. I think, like, right before it was so funny because, like, I took, like, a little acting workshop because, like, I'm not an actor, I'm directed, like, I'll be in the thing. Because I'm not going to cast, like, a loud Jewish girl. It's, like, no point. But I remember I was, like, so nervous, like, I was just, like, am I gonna cry at the final scene? Like, I remember talking to you, and I was like, because I felt like so much responsibility, you know, as like a rape victim. I was like, I should cry for people because I want people to think that I'm like sad, but like my own process, like I'm not really a crier, or I cry at inappropriate time or whatever. And it was just a really interesting example of just honoring my feelings. Like even with, I say like my douchebag ex-agent was like, if you ever want a job, like I'm not getting you jobs anyway, but like if you ever want a job, like don't make this movie. And I had some douchebag PR publicist that was like, you should change the name, you know, to like Meet My Princess or whatever, or whatever the like on Reddit. And it was like, I was like, maybe this is too intense, like with the humor, because I didn't want to offend people. But again, like that was the truth of my experience. Like when I sat down to write my story, like that's what came out. And I can't tell you, and especially after seeing all the films this week, like you can tell the stories that like the filmmaker is honoring their voice. And like comedy is a part of that. I think people always think like comedy, you know what I mean? Like there's truth to my comedy. I think, I hope, maybe. Please don't hate me.
Go for it, do it.
I just want to say thanks for putting this on the screen and having a way of like the courage to follow through and do it for yourself. Just thanks for sharing.
Thank you so much.